Hey, have you ever noticed a situation that kept returning to your mind? And part of you wonder whether your awareness was picking it up or something real, or if your thoughts were like simply looping and looping? The moment when you paused and asked yourself that question often means something deeper is happening. Collective. Now, today's messages are going to explore the differences between your intuition and overthinking and how awareness can help you recognize which one is guiding your thoughts. Welcome back, Divine Collective, to my channel, Oracle Rose Healing Tarot. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm just going to let you know sometimes awareness begins quietly, okay? When your psychic and downloads start coming and things like that, and sometimes a thought will keep returning, a realization of slowly forming your mind. Something within you will begin asking deeper questions. When that happens, it can be difficult to know whether your mind is overanalyzing a situation or whether your awareness is guiding you toward clarity. This message explores reflection, observation, and emotional balance. So you know you don't get off square. And it's going to help you recognize the difference between intuition and overthinking so you can move forward with confidence and calm understanding. Okay? Remember now, adrenaline is not intuition. All right? Now, before we begin, take a moment to like the video, and when you like and share the video, it helps the message reach more people and help the channel grow. And so many viewers can benefit from the conversations. We are growing. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Thank you, new subscribers. Thank you, everybody who's here listening. I'm so happy to have you. I'm blessed to have you. And if any of these messages focus on uh, awareness, personal insight, and you like that, subscribe to the channel. And thank you, Divine Collective, for helping us build this channel too and supporting it and growing this community. Take now, remember, always take what resonate and leave the rest. Okay, and leave the rest. Okay, I'm over here doing some weird shuffling. I kid you not. But anyhow, I got this new deck that I got from it looks from Amazon. I love it. It's so pretty. It's called the Empath Soul, what is this celestial tarot deck. We're going to be using that today. Okay, but before we get started, as you already know, we're going to do a prayer so that we can get the downloads and get these messages and get going. Okay, and you know I'm going to ring my bell. I'm not going to try to do the sound bowl because it just doesn't show up on camera anyway, but watch your ears because it can get a little loud. I give thanks to the Most High Divine Spirit for being here, for surrounding us with healing energy, and for guiding today's messages. And by the grace of the Most High and the Holy Spirit, this space is filled with love, peace, light, and all energies that do not serve our highest good are transmuted into love, healing, and renewing energy. Now, let's step into this week. All right, you see what we got going on over there. It's about overthinking. And I know going through a healing journey, especially with everything that's changing, what you're gonna begin to understand is that um the new things that you're allowing your mind to remember, it's gonna start to form as your new reality. Okay, and you're gonna realize that what you've been focusing on is not your actual reality. Um, so it starts with your thoughts. So, and we want to know if a returning thought is the build of something new, or if it's, or what is it? Why does it keep returning? Okay, so we're going to ask Spirit because this card is going to represent that moment when a thought continues returning. All right, so let me get a cut on the deck too. I was over here just shuffling and shuffling. I was loving the colors on this, but I want to make sure I do it properly. Thank our ancestors and the Holy Spirit to come in here and give us some messages today, collective. And I hope everyone is doing well, okay? So let's just see. Of course, the thoughts that keep returning, we're going to ask the divine. The thoughts that keep returning, what energy is that as a lead card? Of course, I keep getting three jumping out of here. And you know, I just want to, here we go. Get one card. And it's an Eight of Wands in reverse, okay? All right. So, and what I was saying, that this card is going to represent the moment when a thought keep continuing to your awareness collective. Sometimes Our minds revisit a situation, and what this Eight of Wands is telling me is that it could be a jealousy that's being sprung from, a thought that's being sprung from jealousy. Okay, I was thinking about that, or you feeling like stagnated, or you looking at somebody else's, situation or whatever. But whatever it is, jealousy then came into play, and you're not seeing eye to eye with somebody. And what this is telling me is that those times when you keep revisiting a situation and you thinking something is important and you thinking something may be understood, this is telling me that you might be having a mental loop. Okay, sometimes thoughts repeat simply because the mind is searching for some certainty around them. Okay, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that you got to keep turning it over and turning it over and turning it over until you can get some understanding. That's not how that works. Okay, so one of the techniques you can do to kind of help you get out of that mental looping, that pause and reflect I told you guys about before, that's going to help you here. Because when you take a moment to calmly reflect, you already know that help you distinguish what's meaningful, insight, if it's coming from a download, if it's really coming from your spirit versus your mind searching for some certainty, trying to make sense. Okay, so make sure you just, you know, make sure it's not repetitive thinking versus meaningful insight. If you're trying to understand versus you just keep thinking about the same event or that same moment that really stuck to you. Okay. Now, the difference between an intuition and a thought loop. Okay. We're going to ask the divine what that looks like. That's very important. A lot of people don't even pay attention to that. They just think they're thinking thoughts and they don't even understand that they're having a mental loop. All right. And so, Three of Wands. All right. And when that came out here, this is telling me that looking at this, sometimes your intuition can feel calm and clear and steady, but overthinking tends to feel like you got scatterbrain. All right. It feels urgent, like you rushing, and it's repetitive. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Sometimes when I watch some of this gossip tarot, I be asking myself, why are they talking so fast, and why do they keep saying the same things over and over and over again? That's because they're channeling someone who's having mental loops. All right. And they're trying to catch every thought to get it out to you, collective. But if you ever listen closely, they keep saying it. They keep saying it, whether good or bad. All right. So you got to understand, if you're not being aware of this, you're not going to understand that overthinking tends to feel scattered, all right, fragmented. When you're connected to the divine, you have a clear channel. And so recognizing the emotional tone of a thought can reveal which one is help you experiencing. Okay. And this is telling me with this Three of Wands, it's you got clarity through your awareness here. All right. Because the Three of Wands is about, uh, expanding, like making progress, you know. And so this is telling me your awareness may be learning to recognize the tone of your intuition versus a repetitive thought. Okay, collective. So make sure that you are taking stock in that. All right. And how you do that, I use my technique. Uh, it's called emotional check-in, and that's basically where you notice how a thought feels emotionally to help you distinguish it from intuition, from anxiety. Intuition is not anxiety, it's not adrenaline, it's not any of those feelings, okay? All right. And so I'm going to tell you why you have to observe the role of the observation. Observing your thoughts is very important because you are not your thoughts, collective. You are spirit. We are spiritual beings. So that's why we're on this spiritual healing journey. You know what I mean? We are not just thoughts. So the role, you got to learn how to observe. And we're going to ask collective, how do you observe thoughts? What is the best energy to get into? Let's use this beautiful tarot deck to get a message out from the ancestors and ask them even in the spirit guides. And so what we got is the moon in reverse. Okay. All right. Observation gonna strengthen your discernment, collective. So instead of reacting immediately to everything, you're gonna that awareness gonna get you to watch yourself, watch your patterns unfold before you jump to conclusions. And what this moon in reverse is telling me is that it's telling me, usually when the moon is hidden, but right now In reverse, is telling me that there's some darkness around the thoughts. You might even think you got something dangerous going on. You might be rushing to conclusions, making dark energy around that. All right. And quick judgments can sometimes interrupt the clarity that patient provide. You got to be patient. Okay. And because patience give you clarity all the time. We always talking about pausing. And so that's the technique. You got to do that observation practice, where you sit back and you just kind of like, not have the thought over and over, but what you do, you have the thought and you notice how it makes you feel. Okay. And that allow the events around you to kind of unfold too before you kind of interpret them, uh, you know, and it reveals the truth more clearly too, collective. If you just sit back and pause, because I got somebody in my family when we say they a bull in the china shop. Man, I'm telling you, you can barely get your words out and they jumping all over your neck and they just think they know what you're gonna say and all of this. And it can get really hard having conversations with people like that. Most of the time, if they don't even allow you to stabilize the relationship with them, you just gotta detach. But before you can do that and even realize what's going on, you know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say go ahead and make sure that you're emotionally grounding yourself. Okay. All right. And we're going to add spirit too. Emotional grounding, what that looks like. And the card just jumped out the deck. And the Queen of Wands came in reverse here. The Queen of Wands in reverse, though. We're talking about a Queen of Wands in reverse. Okay. And what this is telling me that if you're not grounding yourself emotionally and creating that space between your thoughts and your reaction, this is the kind of energy that's going to jump out there for you, collective. A Queen of Wands in reverse. You're going to be emotionally overwhelmed. Okay. You know how the Queen of Wands is, just all clap back and crash out. And you don't even want to have, and it doesn't matter if you're male or female, anyone can be in this energy. Okay. All right. And that's not what we're trying to go. That immediately knocks you out of your clarity. All right. And that's not what we want to do. All right. And sometimes I'm going to let you know, collective, when them emotions are going up, 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 clarity can feel harder to even access. So you're going to have to start grounding your breathing. Yep, because slowing that breathing down is what help you regulate your emotions. It help you calm it on down and restore that calm thinking. I've been doing yoga and I've been even learning how to do my breathing correctly. And when I say it does better for you, it allows so much more. And you know what? Treat yourself better. You know, learn how to, control your wind and things of those natures. You know, that's going to help you manifest. It's going to help you calm down. It's going to help you lower your blood pressure. All right. But you're going to have to learn how to trust your awareness collective. So we're going to ask Spirit how to do that. All right. Divine, how can collective, how can we trust our awareness, please? What energy do we need to be in to even get there? I had two come out. I'm putting them back in. All right. Let's see. All right. And what came out was the Wheel of Fortune. Woo. Thank you, Spirit, for this card. You know what the Wheel of Fortune means: success, luck, moving forward. You got to go with the flow of life. This is telling me that you're growing your self trust. Collective, pat yourself on the back. This is some good stuff. You trusting your awareness, and it grows gradually through experience. So you gotta go through this stuff. You can't just say, I don't want to be bothered with it. Why I gotta go through it? No, because each moment of reflection is gonna make you stronger. It's gonna strengthen your ability to recognize meaningful insight, learning what your intuition is from versus just, trying to be happy all the time. All right. And so your awareness is becoming more reliable as you reflect on your experiences. That's what's happening here. And I'm so glad that's happening for us, collective. We got it going on. All right. I usually write my stuff down in my insight journal. That's what I do. Because writing down my insights and my observation, it helped me track my patterns. So I know I'm not tripping. I only need to trust myself in this world. Nobody else is watching your life but you, collective. They got their own task of watching their own life. Most people who are spending too much time watching you, they not manifesting anything and they hating because they watching you like a movie show instead of using their energy to build their own life. And then they want to play back to you what you've been doing, trying to tell you how you're not doing right in your life. Well, number one, why are you watching me? Anyway, if these messages are resonating with you so far, take a moment and like the video and share it with someone who values awareness and personal growth. Okay, like us, we participate in our own rescue. That's what we do. We're not over here being victims. That's not who we choose to be victors. That's who we are. Your support gonna help these messages reach more people, and my channel go grow. And I'm gonna be happy about that because the more people you come into contact with this energy, it's not that many people who's trying to vibrate high. This world has got them, it had all of us feeling like we had bricks on our head. Okay. So thank you, Divine, for helping build this community. I really appreciate you guys. I love my subscribers. It's not that many, but I know each and every one of you, and I'm telling you right now, thank you. Okay. And if you're new here, thank you, thank you, thank you. Subscribe so you don't miss our future messages. Okay. All right. So the next card out is going to be about recognizing how you're clear on the inside. How you going to know it's clarity? Because this is all new. You were listening to everybody else before, a collective. You weren't listening to yourself. So now it's like, okay, Divine's going to help us. I went through my healing journey. I know when it's the divine. That's divine gives messages. So this is when it came out, the Ten of Cups. Woo! And you already know. Because you're going to feel that love and happiness in your soul. You're going to feel that. You're going to be feeling like you're receiving the love you want and deserve. Okay? And it's going to be divine. When it's your intuition, it's always about the thought and the feeling colliding together. Okay? Inner clarity often appears like a quiet sense of understanding, like a quiet sense of knowing. That's why you can't be in a lot of chaos. It does not demand attention, it just simply feels certain, like you know it. You know it, and you don't need anybody else to clarify. It's just like if these messages are resonating with you, only you know that. And the only way I would know that is if you told me in the comments, like the video. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you that might be having a calm realization about a situation when you're in that energy. And this is just telling me that you know what it is. Okay. Your awareness may be confirming something you had already sensed, collective. That means you are tapping in. And just like I told you, the only way you're going to feel that and hear that at the same time is that you got to get into this technique I call stillness practice. It's just like the word says, be quiet, be still. Then you can hear the divine. But when you're whining, crashing out, screaming, trying to be heard, there is no one in this 3D that can calm your soul. Oh, wow. Look at that. Fire falling. I know that's right. Thank you, ancestors. All right. And I'm going to tell you, when you do that stillness practice too, and take the moments just to be quiet and reflection, that's going to allow your inner clarity to surface. Okay. Thank you. All right. And so I'm gonna tell you too, you gotta have boundaries around your mind, not just around your prized possessions, not just around your high-end fashions collective, not just around them car keys. You gotta have boundaries around your mind, okay? So we're gonna ask the divine what's the best energy to be in there because we already know that discernment includes knowing when to stop analyzing the situation too. Overthinking, often continues those long after clarity. Once you get clear, you don't need the thought gonna be done, and it's done. When you overthinking, it's gonna be replaying back like a BT episode of Baby Boy, and everybody knows what that is. So we're gonna ask Divine what energy we need to be in, and in Seven of Cups, what a beautiful card. Look at that skull down there. Looking at this Seven of Cups, though, you got to take the right choices and the opportunities, you know, to know choosing to step away from repeated thoughts. Okay. And that's what these cups are telling me. You got to know when that is happening. And you got to choose to step away from, I keep having these same thoughts every hour. I'm going to let you know, once a thought has commandeered your mind, it's commandeered your feelings too. And that's when you start feeling bad because the divine in you is not resonating with all of that. All right. And what this is telling me is that you're going to have some mental boundaries. All right. You may be learning when to let go of overanalyzing collective, and that's good because you don't need that stuff. You don't need it. Okay. And also, my technique is a thought redirection. You think about a traffic people. I used to live downtown in a major city, and sometimes when it got hairy during rush hour, there had to be people directing traffic. All right, you got to be like that. You know, they'll tell you to wait, slow down. You know, you can't cross. People walking across the street, and whoever was driving and walking had to watch that crossing guard or that person or a traffic cop or whoever. And so, just like they commandeered everyone's attention, you're going to have to do that with your thoughts, collective, and learn how to redirect them to positive, feel good thoughts that are productive and creative. Okay? And how that's going to work from you, how it's going to work for all of us actually, is that redirecting the attention helps quiet that repetitive thinking. That repetitive thinking is an entity, is a playing a drum, a broken one at that. Okay. So you're gonna have some peace around your understanding. I hope this is really important to you because this is mind stuff. This that 5D, you know, this that 5D information, all right? So what is peace and understanding for us in the collective, Divine? What is that? Ooh, Divine had kicked out too, but I'm gonna put it back in the actual one. And if it comes back out, I'm gonna take it. But let's just see what we got. Okay. Let's see. Sometimes the pull will go. I should have took what I got. Sometimes you can't make them come out. Divine. Divine. Okay, here we are. Justice in the reverse. Now, what I was asking for, peace and understanding. When our awareness become clear, the mind offers relax. Okay, clarity does not require constant explanation. It doesn't. Collective. And when I'm seeing this justice in reverse, this is just telling me that, you know, um, your thoughts might be getting imbalanced. You know what I mean? You might have some lingering uncertainty, you know. But you got to understand too, it's okay. Understand it sometimes unfold gradually. Sometimes it be slow when you get to understand. Not that you're slow, it's that the understanding is slow. It's almost like you're the camera and you're adjusting your perspective of what you're pointing at. And you know how sometimes you gotta focus the lens just so you can get that sharp image. That's just how it happens in your mind sometimes. And that's the point, that's the process of getting to understanding. All right. And one way you can do this too to help that focus in your mind take place is using this technique I call acceptance practice. You got to accept things for what they are, collective, not what you want them to be. All right. And how that's going to help you is by accepting what you understand. It allows deeper insight to just develop naturally, not you trying to force what you believe or what you want something to be. All right. And what we want is clarity on this journey. You know, we don't need we are creators, but we're co-creators with the divine. All right. And it manifests in front of us. So once we get a peace and understanding, Makes it all good. So I'm gonna tell you, there's gonna be a lot of wisdom coming out from this reflection. This is how people get older and wiser when we're blessed. You know what I mean? When we walk in our purpose. And so we're gonna ask the divine, what kind of energy does that look like? And what jumped out was starting to reverse. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. A star in the reverse does not mean what you think it is. Star energy is actually good energy, but in reverse, it's like, don't get disappointed if you don't, if you have to go through repeated lessons when it comes to wisdom, because you got to remember, collective, you're getting it right. You're on the healing journey. And until people start waking up around you, and as you vibrating higher, you're going to have some disillusion or doubt that any of this is even working, because who's going to be participating with you? But guess what? You're shifting from external validation focus to internal healing, spiritual healing focused. Okay? So without reflections, the same situations may appear again. And that's what this card is telling me. So the technique is always going to be a discernment reflection. You're going to have to reflect, are you really discerning? Because reflecting on experiences is going to help your awareness build up over time. I said reflecting, not ruminating, not beating the drum of, oh, they hurt me, they hurt me, they hurt me. No, reflect on the situation. What am I supposed to learn? What do I need to do for me to grow from this point? How can I move past go in this thought? How can I put it to rest? Put a pin in it, so to speak, and move forward. Okay, so move forward with confidence. That's the next card. We're gonna ask the divine how to do that. How can we move? And the card that jumped out was the King of Swords. He said, "Shut it down." Divine said, "Come through with intelligence. Use all the knowledge that we've been doing here. Put it in, because you know the King of Swords. That's someone. Hey, you got to get in this energy. Like, this is my life. I'm trusting me. I'm trusting what comes to me. I'm discerning from inside." And King of Swords is that energy. This is when you got clear vision on what you're trying to do. hmm That's that inner confidence. So you got to trust your awareness, collective, because that's going to help you navigate your situations with calm clarity. That's how it's going to come up. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it. You got to understand that. And because it's not about crashing out, we talked about this last time. We sure did. So the technique going to be the centering. I had to do it today. I'm going to tell you, I know when I need to center. My feet and my hands start to sweat. I can have on socks and house shoes, and my feet will start to sweat. And I have to take everything off, and I'm like, I'm receiving a lot of energy. What That's what it means. Why you need to center yourself. It's almost like you're receiving the spiritual energy into your body. And so grounding helps you ground yourself right back into the physical, into the 3D. Okay? All right. Now, let me tell you, I got these other cards, the Akashic Truth Oracle card deck. And I was just thinking, if we overthinking, maybe the Akashic Records can straighten us out, collective. I already did a shuffle on the cards, so I'm going to ask the ancestors, the divine, and our spirit guides, and go in the Holy Spirit to just go ahead and give us some information on helping us with the overthinking. We're going to take some oracle messages, okay? And what jumped out was courageous heart. It takes a courageous heart of courage to follow your heart, collective, especially when the path is unknown. Your heart knows the way, though. Trust it. Let it lead you to your true destiny. All right, that's a good one. Amazing. Especially when we're talking about overthinking and trusting ourselves. It's really important. So let me see here. We're going to ask for some more. Let's see what else we can get out. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Let's see what we can get out. All right. Soar, you're being asked to stop dimming your own light, period. It's time for you to come out of the shadows and let your authentic self soar. Fly high, dear divine. Make sure you do it, divine collective. I agree. Thank you. Ooh, look at that jump across the table. Get a fresh start on that overthinking. You've been given the opportunity to begin again, especially with this Oracle Rose Healing Tarot journey that we're on. Allow yourself to embrace this new life, collective. I am. I'm feeling great. Open up and fully, open up fully to the gift. This gift that you've been given, okay? This is a gift for me. I've been feeling, when I say a peace beyond understanding, I know what it means now. And you're going to get it too. Ancestor says forgiveness is a good one to help too. So, collective, if you holding on to a grudge right now, don't let that mess you up. That's gonna fragment your signal. That's definitely gonna knock your clarity out. It says right here, with withholding forgiveness only hurts you and prolongs the pain. Stop putting yourself in depressive states. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, but we're here and we're going to get through this, okay? It's time to forgive someone, or maybe even yourself, so you can stay on the path of your highest potential and participate in your own rescue. Thank you. Thank you, ancestors. I really, really appreciate it. We're going to get one more card out just as a closing card. Go ahead and close this reading. We're going to ask the divine to give us a closing card on this spread here. And I hope that this is helping. All right. And divine said, be present. All right. You are ungrounded. Remember, we were talking about that? Spending too much time in your head, spending too much time on social media. No, sometimes something has caused you to retreat to your mind, though. That's why you're here. Okay. And I'm glad you are. It's time to bring your consciousness to it so you can resolve it and start living life more fully again. Thank you, ancestors, divine, most high, and the Holy Spirit for that. Collective. Sometimes the difference between intuition and overthinking becomes clear the moment we pause long enough to listen. Truth, okay? Awareness grows through reflection, observation, and calm understanding. Thank you for sharing this sacred space with me today. Remember, the truth power isn't in the cards, it's in you. It's in you, collective. Trust your inner voice, allow your healing to unfold, and just keep walking the path of your own wisdom. It's going to work out, I promise. This is where healing becomes you and you participate in your own rescue. Until next time, keep walking in your light.